Course 3, Lesson 53, we are looking at measures of central tendency in order to solve problems. So a couple vocab terms: histogram displays data by organizing it into frequencies, and line plot displays data with X's on a number line. So my measures of central tendency are my mean, median, mode, and range. Our mean is the average, so we add up all the numbers and divide by how many we added. The mode is the number that is most often, the most common. So how many times does it appear? It looks like 4 appears 4 times, much more than the rest. Okay, now if we have something like this list where all of the numbers come up just once, we say we actually don't have a mode because all of them are the same frequency. But if we were to add maybe, say we add a 10 and we add another 4, well, even though those come up the same amount of times, we say 10 and 4 are my mode because they come more frequently than the rest of the numbers. The median, we are going to line these up from least to greatest and count down from each side to find the middle. That's easy if we have an odd amount, but if we have an even amount, we're going to have to find the mean of the 2 numbers in the middle, which in this case is 4.5. And then the range is the difference between the greatest and the least value. Okay, so we've seen these a lot, and here's an example if you would like to try to find the mean, median, and mode. I'm not going to show it on this video. You can look back at a previous video about those and try and find the mean, median, mode, and range. Our line plot is a visual way to represent how many of each number we have. So in this case, each X represents one time of that number. So we can list the numbers by saying we get a 10, an 11, a 12, another 12, a 13, and a second 13, 14, and 15. All of those are my numbers, and I could easily write them out to find the mean, median, mode, and range. Now, histograms are another visual representation of data. They are bar graphs that show frequencies, and we need to have the following. We need to have a title, labels on the X and Y axis. The bars must be touching and colored in, and we have to have a frequency table to show the frequencies and intervals. The intervals must be equal and appropriate. Now remember, with a frequency table, we've seen this before, but our frequency table has 3 columns. The first one is my interval. The second one is the tally amount, helps you keep track as you look at the numbers, and the last one is the frequency. So you're writing down the actual number of how many times it occurs in that interval. So for example, we have these numbers, and let's say they are all of the ages of people that came to a specific movie. So we first need to find and do a frequency table. Now my intervals must be the same, equal amounts, and appropriate, meaning I'm not going to do an interval from 1 to 100 here. That wouldn't capture enough of the data to really help me understand the picture. So I'm going to do intervals. I'm going to do my tally and my frequency. And of course, my frequency table should have a title, and I'll say ages of moviegoers. And let's see, my smallest number is 16, my highest number is 39, so I'm somehow going to span that amount. And let's say I go from 15 to 19. Okay, I have 5 numbers in between there, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, so all of my intervals should be the same. I'm going to go 20 to 24, 25 through 29, 30 through 34, and I'll just need a little bit more here to go from 35 to 39. So when I go and look at my tallies, I'm going to say, all right, how many numbers do I have between 15 and 19? And I have a 19, and I have a 16, and I have another 19. And then, so that means I have a frequency of 3. From 20 to 24, let's see, I have 23, I have another 23, I have a 20, and a 21. So I have 4. 25 to 29. So we get a 26 and a 29. We get another 26. And that's it. So we have 3 there. 30 to 34. So we have a 31. We have a 34. We have another 34 and another 30. So we have 4 there. And lastly, 35 to 39. We have a 39 and a 38. So we have 2 there. So when we go to do our histogram, remember we're going to need a lot of different things here. Our x-axis is going to need to be those ages. That's my independent variable. And then my frequency is going to go on the y-axis. We don't need a lot here. We need to show all the way up to 4 on my frequency. And 20, or I'll do it like this. It's a little bit easier to show the intervals by just writing them in between the different lines that you put on your histogram. So I'm going to say I have 5 different sections, 1, 2, 3, 4, and my 5th one. So we have 15 to 19, 20 to 24, 25 to 29, 30 to 34, and 35 to 39. And in each of these, I'm going to do a different color because we want them colored. So 15 to 19, we had 3, so I'm going to go up here to 3. 20 to 24, we have 4, so we're going to go up 1. 25 to 29, we have 3 again. 30 to 34, we have 4 again. And lastly, we have 2 for 35 to 39. Okay, and so we have our histogram, but we're missing one thing. We need a title on here. So we're going to have ages of moviegoers. So we have all of the different requirements here, all of those labels, frequency table, and so on. Here is another one that you can try. Let's see, let me just show you an example here. Here's another list of data that you can try making a line plot for, and maybe a histogram for this one. Okay. And just to answer some questions, which measure of central tendency would you use to find the difference between the most electricity used and the least? Well, that sounds like the range to me. How about to report someone who wanted to compute the total amount of electricity used in a year? Well, oftentimes we talk about totals when we talk about the mean. We add things up and then divide by how many we have. So if we wanted to know the mean or the total in the year, typically we're told how much per month. So maybe, I don't know, depends on what we're talking about. Let's say 50, whatever it might be, whatever units, 50 per month. Well, to get that number, I have to take a total and divide by 12. So in order to find the total for the year, I would need to take 50 and multiply by 12 to get total in the year. So I could use the mean to help me find the answer. And if the greatest data point was 590 and it was changed to 500, which measure would change the most? Well, that's the greatest data point and it changed to 500. This would change the range quite a bit. Okay, most likely, unless there was another number that was 589, okay? It would most likely change the range quite a bit, but the other one it would change quite a bit is our mean. That one changes a lot with our outliers. Well, I hope this is helpful for your homework and for studying.